Hello, welcome to Neeru's Kitchen. Today we're in my garden and I'm going to pick some garlic scapes for the avocado and garlic scape parathas. I've washed them and I'm going to chop them. Here are some fresh coriander which I've just picked from the garden. Normally I would use frozen, but today we're going to use fresh. I'm going to chop them up and add them to the paratha mix. Here are the ingredients we're going to use. Here I have half a teaspoon of ground cumin powder, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds. I've got 3 tablespoons of gram flour, 400 grams of plain white flour. I've got 2 discs of ground chili, got half a teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of ground ginger and half teaspoon of turmeric, and I've got 3 tablespoons of oil, and I've got the garlic scapes and coriander which I chopped earlier. Now I'm going to mash 3 avocados into a bowl. I'm going to cut them up. I'm going to mash this up fairly softly. The rest of it we will mix once all the ingredients have been added. So here I've got avocados, chapati flour and gram flour, which I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients to. This is the coriander and garlic scapes, the sesame seeds and the cumin and coriander powder, and I've got the sugar, the salt, the ginger, the turmeric, have the chilies which I've mentioned earlier. I'm going to mix that up. This should form into a nice dough, soft enough to roll out into the parathas. If you need to, you can add a little bit of water just to give it that little bit of manageability, but I don't think you should need any water because the avocados are quite soft and should provide enough fluid to form a soft dough. And I'm going to add lastly the oil that I've had. This should help the parathas turn out flavoursome and crispy when they're being cooked. You have to knead it quite well. Make sure that everything comes together quite well. If your hand starts to stick, use a little bit of the oil that's left in the bowl. Rub it on your hands. Should help the dough come together. Didn't need any water at all. I'm going to leave this aside for 20 minutes so that the dough has time to rest. Welcome back. It's been about 20 minutes. The dough has rested and we'll begin making the avocado and garlic scape parathas. I'm going to roll it out a little bit first. I'm going to dip my hand in the ghee and make a little flour to help it fluff up when we're making the paratha. Just like this. Dab it in some dry flour and roll it out. Not too thin, not too thick. About the right size. And to put it on the tawa. Have the heat on medium high, but you don't want to burn it too much. Going to make a start on the second one. Going to turn it. You need to have that kind of pattern on the first turn. This paratha is ready. I'm going to turn it over onto the plate. Next one is ready. I'm going to be using the ghee for this paratha. Ghee is clarified butter which is made through heating up the butter and the salt is removed. We had the pan really hot, then we turned it down as we're putting it through so that we make sure that it cooks evenly on both sides, and we use the spatula to dab the parathas to stop to make sure that it's evenly pressed on the pan, the tawa as it's known. And we use the garlic scapes in the paratha, but if you don't have those, you can use ordinary garlic. It gives off the same flavour, but the garlic scapes gives it a freshness. The garlic scapes are also very good in the salads, as I mentioned earlier, but you can use them in ordinary cooking. Going to turn this, make sure it doesn't burn too much. That's the right amount of pattern on there. Dab it with a bit of clarified butter or ghee. I've turned that a little bit too soon. I'm going to turn it back. I want to make sure it's cooked properly, but you don't want to turn too often. Parathas with avocado turn out a lot softer, but there's also that crunch because of the gram flour we've used. It stops the oil retaining in the paratha. That's quite useful to know, I'm sure, and make sure that it's cooked. To roll out the next paratha. This should make about 14 to 16 parathas, depending on how big or thin or thick you make them. I'm going to put this in the tawa, and I'll show you how I actually roll the paratha out and the different steps that I take to get there. Roll it up to a nice ball like this. Dab it in some dry flour. Roll it slightly, but not too big. And then dab your hand in the clarified butter. This helps it to give it a nice flaky taste when you cook the paratha. Roll it up into a ball like this. Then dab it in dry flour again. And then roll it out slowly, round as possible, turning as you go. If it sticks, dab some more flour in. As I'm rolling it, I can feel the crunch of the garlic scapes. It releases the flavor as you're rolling it. That is the perfect pattern to get on the paratha. As you can see, it's not too dark, not too light. It's got even pattern all throughout the paratha. That shows you that it's cooked all through. Now I'm going to show you how to roll a paratha from a different angle so that you can see how I rolled it. Roll it out just slightly, not too big. Dab my hand in some ghee. Now I'm going to roll it into a flour. I'm bringing all the ends together. This prevents it from splitting when you're rolling it. There we go. Hopefully you got to see how this is rolled out in a nice way. If you just want to say, if you are left-handed, you would use your most dominant side, and when you're rolling it, that's the side it will be turning. I'll show you. This, as you can see, is turning to the left. If I were to do from the right, it will turn the other way. So here we have avocado and garlic scape parathas. I've served it with savoury, which is made from cabbage, carrots and red and green chilies, stir-fried in mustard seed and oil with turmeric and sugar. I'll show you how to make it next time. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.